Nemanja Matic signs for Manchester United. I'm tempted to get off the seat. I'm only joking. Look, Matic has signed for Manchester United. The realities are this, that Matic is better than nobody, and we may all have our own opinion on who we would sign for Manchester United in that centre defensive midfield position. The reality is it could have been Fabinho. It could have been Fabinho and we'd all be absolutely ecstatic. But if you've been a Manchester United fan for any amount of time, you'll know that it very rarely works out the way you want it to. And United have still been very successful in those times. So Matic to Manchester United is a player that Jose Mourinho wants. And as I said about Fellaini at the weekend, when those false rumours came out that he was going to stay, and I said categorically there is just no chance. The evidence is not there that Mourinho would let a player that he likes, that many Manchester United fans don't like, go. This is a sword that Mourinho will have to fall on. He will have to fall on this sword if he gets it wrong with Matic, and he will have to fall on that sword if he persists in the way he did last season with Fellaini. And what cannot be denied is that Nemanja Matic is a big, big improvement on Marouane Fellaini. And if Matic means that Fellaini plays less in our midfield, then that can only be a positive. Yes, there may be players that we would far prefer to Matic, Fellaini for sure, but the reality is Matic is what we've got. Whether that is Mourinho's fault, whether Matic is third or fourth choice off that list is something that us as fans will never know. Maybe we will know at some point, but certainly not in the present when the player's coming in and he doesn't want to be undermined. I personally think that Mourinho and Matic are a match made in heaven in many ways, and it is a player that Mourinho likes and respects, and that's why we're signing him. But I do not believe that he was his first choice when he handed that list to Ed Woodward back in April. Why and where Matic features on that list, I would hazard a guess, as many have, that maybe as low as fourth, probably more likely third, with people like Eric Dyer and Raji Nainggolan ahead of him. Those players are not available, whether that's because they didn't want to come, or more likely that the owners of Manchester United would not sanction the increased value of people like Eric Dyer over a £40 million Matic. That is probably the reality. Mourinho's interests are Manchester United, and he has to get the best out of Manchester United. And Matic, as I keep saying, is better than nobody. What will Matic bring to Manchester United? I think he's the biggest risk of any signing that Mourinho's made. And I base that not on I don't like Matic because he's slow. I've never said Matic isn't a bad footballer. He is a good footballer. He's a very good footballer. You could almost say he is a very, very good footballer. But my concerns around Matic mainly come nothing to do with Matic. They come from Manchester United. Manchester United's static, slow midfield under the last 6 months under Jose Mourinho. Does Matic improve that? Or does he actually fit it like a glove at being a midfielder that isn't particularly quick, that is quite static? That is my worries about static Matic, potentially. But what he does have, and you've got to look at his positives. He is a 2 times Premier League winner. He is very experienced in a squad that is very young. And he also has the ability to switch the play longer passes with the left foot than Fellaini, who can only do 5 metres. And he can dribble with the ball, and he has got a decent shot on him. So he certainly brings a lot more to the game than Fellaini does, who's been a regular in our midfield. And I would argue that he probably brings more to our midfield than Carrick does now. Carrick is a declining force, one of my favourite players at Manchester United, but he is a declining force. And Matic, at this stage of his career, is probably a better midfielder than Carrick, and certainly Fellaini. Add that into the equation of Herrera and Pogba, and we have options in the midfield. Whether I would be happy with a midfield 3 of Matic, Herrera and Pogba, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced by that 4-3-3. I like the midfield 3 where you've got that potential number 10 in a Mkhitaryan or a Mata. So I ideally would like to see Pogba, Herrera, Mata, Pogba, Herrera, Mkhitaryan. But Matic gives us options, and especially gives us options in the tougher games in the Champions League and the tougher games in the Premier League, especially away from home, where you might want to have a compact midfield 3 and hit teams on the break. And maybe Matic, Herrera and Pogba, that's where we'll see the best of those. Matic is a Manchester United player now. As I've said, I cannot steer away, and I would not urge Manchester United fans to steer away from their initial thoughts about Nemanja Matic as a Manchester United player. 29 years of age, 6'3" or 4", quite slow, coming towards the end of his career. 2 questionable seasons in his past. One under Mourinho that got him the sack when he was atrocious, and one last year when he won the Premier League. But how effective was he when he had Kante next to him? We're about to find out. There are question marks over Matic, and I believe in Jose Mourinho, and I believe that this signing will be one that proves me and many other Manchester United fans wrong. And I hope to be wrong, because I believe in Jose Mourinho. I back Jose Mourinho. He is the manager that I wanted at Manchester United, and though he makes decisions that I don't agree with around people like Fellaini and around signings like Matic, I have to believe that he will be proved right and I will be proved wrong, because I believe in Mourinho. And that is why from this point that Matic is a Manchester United player. For what it's worth, he gets my backing, and for what it's worth, I would ask all you Manchester United fans to get behind Nemanja Matic, give him the welcome that all Manchester United fans deserve, and let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can make a change to that midfield. And if there's one positive we can take, he's better than nothing, and he's definitely better than Fellaini. Thanks for watching. Get commenting below. Yes, we've overpaid, but this market's ridiculous. Yes, Chelsea have got a good deal out of it, getting more money than what they paid for the replacement in Bakayoko. But the reality is, it's better than nothing, and we're not the boss. Jose Mourinho is, and we can moan about it or we can get behind it. And I want him to succeed. I don't want him to be a failure. But the reality is, whether it's Fellaini or Matic, as I said, there's a big sword hanging over Mourinho's head, and it will fall if he gets it wrong. I don't want it to fall. I want us to be successful, and I want Matic to be successful too. Thanks for watching. Give us your thoughts below, get commenting, and I'll speak to you all later.